This is Bumper to Bumper, the car show. Drive in anxious and cruise out confident. With the best automotive information for your vehicle. And now your hosts, Matt Allen and Dave Riccio.
Hey, Rookie, I think you got a problem with the mic over there. I guess I'll have to take over. I don't know what's happening. So Dave was trying to say it, but I'll go ahead and say it. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Bumper Radio. That is Dave Riccio, who's back with us today, and I think you forgot how to use the microphone over there. No, he really didn't forget how. Just having some little difficulties here as he goes through the red lights and the white lights, trying to make them all work. But I am Matt Allen. That's Dave Riccio over there, and we are your KTAR car guys, heard right here every single Saturday morning from 11 to noon. So whether you're having a car problem, car question, maybe the thing broke down, who knows, but all you have to do to get involved with the show, have us help you with your car, because that's really what we're here to do, is give us a call, 602-277-5827. It's 602-277-KTAR. And Dave has finally got a microphone working. Had to change seats over there.
It's a good thing they got multiple microphones in the studio,
know.
so this one works.
So Dave's going to be my guest today, right?
I'm going to sit back, let you do all the work.
Holy smokes! Well, I usually do anyway. So,
Whoa,
that's not true.
That kind of hurt.
Dave comes in and is very prepared, wants to get all the notes done. He prints them up very nicely every weekend, and we put them in this file. But when he's gone, he comes back. He's like, "Matt, do you do show notes?" Nope. Didn't get here till 10:45, Dave.
I'm Mr. Over-Prepare, and Matt is Mr. Under-Prepare. That is for sure.
If it weren't for the last minute, I would not have any time. That's for sure. So, Dave, we see it in our shops all the time. You know, we got one car that's a great car, and its cousin, maybe a model year newer, or even a model year older. The one next to it's a total pile of junk. Or it just looks, you heard the term rode hard and put away, however it is. But I think a lot of these problems that people have with their car are self-inflicted.
Well,
right?
and I put it like this. Sometimes I see a car, it's got 80,000 miles on it, and it's a jalopy. And then the next car in the bay next to it has got 150,000 miles on it. And it is a clean one owner. I mean, it's a real cream puff. But and they're just taken care of. You can ruin a car. You buy a nice car. I mean, that car, if it's taken care of, will last 200,000 miles.
Any one of them, just about.
Just about, yeah. It doesn't matter the make, model. And you can get 200.
PT Cruiser, maybe not. But,
There's a few, and a few of them, like, remember, what was that Buick car that was so ugly? You don't want it to last 200,000 miles.
Please break down so I can get rid of this piece of junk, please.
No. But they're gonna last, and you really need to start maintaining them. Of course, oil changes. I mean, that's the most basic thing that's got to happen, and those are happening in really 3 to 5,000 mile intervals. That you just always do for the life of the car. And when you're further back, 150,000 miles, you may change your interval because the car, now that it's older, it may get more frequent oil change and more frequent service.
You just took a big jump from new car to 150,000 miles. But, let's back up a little bit why this topic comes up. Last week we had a couple calls. One gal had a Toyota Tundra in her high mileage, 240, 250, something like that. Mm-hmm. Her question is, when do I stop taking care of it? And what's the tipping point, I guess? And then another guy, he was at 50 or 60,000 miles and wanted to know what to start doing. So those are a couple of the reasons. And I had a client in the shop this week, a 80,000 mile car, 9 years old, but only 80,000. And she just was deciding not to do some things, minor things on the car, $400. Yeah.
What kind of things?
Cabin
what
air,
kind of car?
A Nissan Xterra. Okay. A cabin air filter, maybe repairing something on the air conditioner, which was a much more expensive repair. That wasn't a maintenance item. And there was some little, I already said the cabin air filter. I did need an engine air filter. And maybe the transmission was due for just a regular maintenance. It had 30,000 miles since we'd done it last time. And she was really concerned about putting that kind of money into an old car.
Oh, yeah.
It's an old car. Why I don't want to spend that kind of money on this old car. I said,
It's in an old car.
This car is I mean, a couple things. $400, yes, it is a lot of money. I'm not just saying it's more money to some than it is to others. But when we're talking in the grand scheme of things of repairing your car, $400 isn't that much money.
Not in the scope when that car costs $40,000 or $35,000 new. I think it's funny that you're talking about a Nissan Xterra, because that's what I drive. And when I decided that as I saw these things come through the shop, that was a vehicle that I wanted to drive, and I was shopping for Xterras with 80,000 miles on it because nothing ever breaks on the thing. That looked like a good car to me. So here if she just wants a different car and she doesn't want to take it, well, go get a different car. But as soon as you quit maintaining something, it's going to fall apart.
But that's the vicious cycle then. Go get another car, and then do you do the same thing to
run that one to the ground,
to the next car?
And I got to be honest with you, that's not very green. And I know we're a consumerist population, but I mean, there's a lot of natural resources and labor and transportation and everything that went into building that car. And it's made to go 200,000 miles, and we just dispose of everything. But really, that's still a good usable car, and that's going to go to somebody else. So why run it into the ground to give it to somebody else? Because they got to take care of it.
Well, and someone might think, why do I need to take my car? I got my own self, my own family to take care of. Why am I going to pass it? What do you mean pass it to somebody else, Dave? Well, the car's going to maintain value, too.
Mm-hmm.
So you take the car that you didn't take care of, and, of course, one thing goes bad, you ignore it. The first dent's kind of hard to ignore, and then the second dent. So the first rattle, but then the second rattle, and then the oil leak. Then it just starts coming easy to ignore. And then all of a sudden, this car it's a jalopy. It's a piece of junk, and it doesn't have that value, and you don't get the same pleasure out of it as you do the one that you take care of.
In a car with 80,000 miles on it is a completely different. I'm having a different conversation with a car with 80,000 miles on it versus a car with 150,000 miles. So when I'm talking to my customer and I say, there's a little bit of a leak from the differential. It's not really hitting the ground yet, but it's just kind of moist around there. We want to keep an eye on it. But it doesn't like we got to fix everything on this car. There's things that we monitor and like with oil leaks, for instance. An oil leak, you can top off your oil and live with an oil leak for a while. It may make a mess in your driveway, but if you got a gravel driveway, maybe it doesn't bother you. But if it's leaking down on a wiring harness where it's going to ruin the car, well, we have to fix that one. Some things we can ignore, some things we can't ignore.
Yeah, I mean, as we get older, as the car ages and gets older, there are certain things that we're just not going to do.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you have a car that's at its end of its usable life cycle, come on, we're not doing fuel injection cleaning on that car unless we're using it to solve some sort of problem. We're not flushing, doing a preventative maintenance power steering service to make the rack and pinion and the steering last longer. We don't really care. Those kind of things I call the fluff. You want to be doing those in the infancy of the car and as they're progressing. But at the end of the life cycle, come on, you're not going and getting a facial.
What's the end of the life cycle?
Well, it's...
Well, actually, I want you to finish that last thought. You're going to get a facial when what? When your face is already falling off?
Yeah, leather neck and you're all, so when's the end of the life cycle? I guess it's a personal decision. I just simply don't like the car anymore. Various reasons. Your personal use, does it suit your needs anymore? And then I guess, again, it's the tipping point is when is it not worth the car? It's a case-by-case. It really – Dave, we're counselors, too. We not only fix cars. Kind of got to be financial counselors sometimes. Sometimes we spend more money than a car is worth fixing it.
Yeah.
That's a good choice sometimes.
Mm-hmm. Sometimes it is, depending on the needs, and that's where the open communication with the shop, they can kind of steer you in a direction. I was having a conversation with a guy yesterday, and he was considering all these repairs. I said, I don't really know your situation, so I don't know if it makes sense for you to fix it or to start pursuing it or not. If maybe you're upside down in the car and you have to make this car work for the next 5 years, well, maybe we need to fix some of this stuff. Mm-hmm. If you're not and you're ready to get something else, well, maybe just go trade it in, and you don't have to fix all this stuff.
Hey, I got a perfect example, one that made me cringe. I think we can talk about it. We won't mention names, but our Better Business Bureau cases this week. Dave and I, with a group of other guys, do some mediation or arbitration, if you will, for the Better Business Bureau. We had a gal who she just put a lot of money into, I think, as a nice Honda Accord. Had struts and shocks and some of the fluff, like I call fluff, done on the car. And thing was really cherry. The timing belt broke. bent a valve in the engine, and then I think she got some bad advice and made a bad decision. The bad advice was you need an engine. Well, she didn't. We could have. A good shop could have done a valve job on that car, repaired the timing belt. There's a lot of circumstances or details we can't get into, but that could have been taken care of for her, because she just spent all that money doing this struts and stuff that she's not going to get to enjoy. Instead, she went and bought a different car. Well, we don't know what she bought. If she bought a new car, great. But if she went and bought a used car,
I watch people all the time. They'll spend $40,000 to fix a $2,000 problem, and that's the way I look at it. And if you've got the extra 40 G's laying around, go for it, But if you're always broke, then maybe we got to start thinking of this differently. This car is a big part of our expense and part of our life. So anyhow, when we come back, we're taking your phone calls at 602-277-5827. 602-277-KTAR. Matt, your face is pregnant with thought. What are you thinking?
Well, I was just thinking we may not be quite ready for that, Dave, but we are ready now.
I'm looking over at my microphone stand, and the cord is broken. So technician Matt there figured it out.
Yes, sir. I get the obvious ones.
Anyway, when we come back, we're taking your call, 602-277-5827. You listen to Matt and Dave, your KTAR car guys on Bumper to Bumper Radio. Matt and I share car repair tips weekly to help you keep your car safely on the road, and a few of them are easy to do.
Yep, you're right, Dave. And one of the easiest is to have a dependable battery that you can trust to get you started no matter what the conditions.
Interstate batteries are what we trust at Bumper to Bumper Radio. In fact, they're what we use at our own shops for our customers.
If you're like most people, your car is one of your most valuable investments. Make sure you take care of that investment with the power necessary to get you where you need to be. Interstate batteries are America's #1 replacement brand with the factory fresh guarantee, and they're easy to find at good shops everywhere.
Cars or trucks, Interstate has you covered with long life and performance in our harsh desert climates with products like Megatron Plus. It carries a 30-month free replacement and a 6-year performance guarantee.
Interstate batteries. No battery lasts longer. Check them out at interstatebatteries.com.
Hi, I'm Kurt Morgan, owner of Shadow Mountain Auto Service in Phoenix. I'm also a college automotive instructor, and I've been a technician for over 30 years. In that time, I've seen all kinds of games and gimmicks in the auto repair business, the worst of which seems to be associated with transmissions. I think it's because, to most, including technicians, the inside of a transmission is a mystery. So when one of our valued customers has a transmission problem, we send them straight to Tri-City Transmission. No games, no gimmicks. That's Tri-City Transmission.
There's nothing more important than family. Hi, Kurt Rock for Kurt's Auto Repair. Family owned and operated and Bumper to Bumper Radio preferred. We've been taking care of Valley families and their auto care needs with a perfect Better Business record for over 27 years. Come experience the difference our ASE Master Techs can make for you and your family at Kurt's Auto Repair. Just east of I-17 at 22nd Avenue and Bell Road, or online at mycarhurts.com. Gas or diesel, foreign or domestic. If your car hurts, take it to Kurtz.
Well, welcome back to Bumper Radio. I'm Dave Riccio, now back at my home microphone. Matt was able to get it repaired during the break. He simply just went and took it off another car.
That's what we do at work all the time. Oh, hey, there's broken. No problem. We got one just like it here. We'll just switch that out.
So anyway, welcome back to Bumper Radio. We're taking your calls at 602-277-5827, 602-277-KTAR. You can also text us at 411-923. We're talking a little bit about maintenance. Maybe you're facing a maintenance item or maybe a repair item on your car. Maybe it's got 180,000 miles on it, and you're thinking about the next car, and you're like, God, do I really spend the money? I don't know what I do. Am I going to have this car another six months, or am I going to have it for 2 more years? And maybe you're thinking about a repair like that. Matt, one of the repairs I think about that people don't like to do is that catalytic converter repair.
Yeah.
Because usually that's very, very expensive, and it just turns on that little yellow light, which isn't a problem until you go get emissions.
I don't remember if you were here or not that week, but my friend Bob, who we won't mention, we did mention his name, no, had check engine light on, drove to California with the check engine light on, it was flashing, and that cost him a $3,000 converter on his Ford Explorer.
Yeah. So
that was a direct result of of ignoring something.
And that's where it comes. You got to have a shop that you have a relationship with, and you got to ask questions. Because if he would have sat down and said, "Hey, here's what I think I'm going to do. I'm going to head to California tomorrow. My check engine light's flashing," we can save you some money with some conversation. But we can also, we've been around it long enough. We can say, you know what, we don't have to deal with that right now. People are afraid if I go to the shop, they're going to give me this big, long laundry list. And sometimes it happens. Just because someone gave you a big, long laundry list doesn't mean just go buy all that stuff.
No.
Have a conversation. Why do I need to do this? And don't necessarily, if it's nothing urgent, don't even buy it on the spot. You can kind of, in your mind, hey, these are some expenses I may need to budget for. These are things that are important or unimportant. And if every time you go to the shop you're getting a list, think about another shop.
Well, and quite honestly, if you're getting that list every time, you have to, maybe you're, there really is something wrong with the car, and you have to look in the mirror. Are we not taking care of our car? But be prepared before you go to the shop. If we have a plan, we listen to the Dave Ramsey. Of course, he's here in KTAR every day during the week. But be prepared. Don't just go in blind every single time to the random shop. And that's the same thing I was telling our customer with the XTAR. She'd taken it to the dealer for the last 15,000 miles and was coming back to us. I said, I would really love for you to bring this car to Virginia Auto Service on a regular basis. If you don't, that's okay. Just choose one shop. Don't come to me and go there, then go over here. Just choose one. Please make it be me. But if it's not, I'm okay with that because I really want you to get the best for your car because that's the way you don't duplicate services. You just
I see people do that all the time.
Same people get to work on the car.
Husband pays for it over at this shop, and then wife takes it to another shop and buys the same maintenance or repair.
I think we touched a nerve, though, Dave. The phone's lit up.
Well, let's go with John in Mesa. John, you're on Bumper to Bumper Radio. How can we help you?
Thanks for taking my call. Last couple of weeks, you guys been talking about Hondas and that they need valve adjustments more often than any other car. How do I know when my Honda needs to have its valves adjusted? I have one that's got 160,000. I have one that's got 87,000. Nobody's ever said a word about that to me.
What kind of Hondas are there? CRVs? Are they Accords? Are they?
One of each, a CRV and an Accord.
CRV is a little valve burner, isn't it?
They are. Well, so here's what I want you to do, John. Go look in your owner's manual. But here's the thing that's interesting you're going to find in the owner's manual. And there's another way to look. On a lot of the cars, if you look under the hood on the emissions decal where it tells the model year and what the emissions are, a lot of times you will see what the valve clearance specifications are. And if there's a specification there, then there's an adjustment. If there's not, then there may not be. You might have a hydraulic lifter, and in those cases, they don't need to be adjusted. So your owner's manual is your first cue, but even, I'm going to say this, the owner's manual is wrong.
Sometimes.
The owner's manual, case in point.
So is Matt.
Once in a while. But Honda Pilot, the V6 Honda, or the V8. V8, what am I talking about?
No.
See, I'm wrong. There's that one other time. Better write that down. So the owner's manual says you adjust the valves only if noisy. Well, the reason they get noisy is because the valves wear and the lash adjusters wear and they clack. They make that noise. Well, but the problem that the Hondas have is they get tight. When they get tight, they don't make noise. So by theory of the owner's manual, you're never going to adjust the darn things. We see them come in. They have a check engine line on for lean condition. The valves are too tight. What happens with tight valves? You burn them. Yeah. 60,000 miles. The old Accords back in the 80s and 90s were 15,000 miles.
Hopefully that helps, John. Start with your owner's manual, and then go talk to your shop about it, and they should be mentioning it to you. Some shops don't adjust valves, so they're not going to mention it to you, and sometimes that bothers me a little bit. I've run into that.
Yeah, so everybody, here's your key. Next time your shop tells you need a valve cover gasket because it's leaking oil, say, do I have adjustable valves?
Because you should be doing it at the same time.
You kill both of those birdies with one stone. Mike Russell would like that one.
That's because he's an outdoor guy.
Yeah.
Anyhow, thanks for the call, John. We're going to go Jack in Chandler. He's got a 2000 Ford Expedition with a transmission. They're selling all these cars with transmissions now.
I can't believe it.
How can we help you with your transmission, Jack?
Okay, a little bit of history first. We bought this car off Craigslist. The motor blew up a quarter mile after we bought it. We put a new crate motor in it, and now the tranny seems to be going out. and which is going to be, from what I've been able to dig into, another $3,000 at least.
And what's your symptom that we would tell you the transmission?
I haven't driven it, but my son was driving it, and then my wife, and they said they'd stop at a light and give it gas, and it wouldn't move.
Is it
ours would go up?
Yeah, two-wheel drive or four-wheel drive?
It's four-wheel.
Okay. And then who did the engine replacement for you?
Well, our mechanic, Conway Auto.
Okay. Now, I hear this a lot of times, and people say, they come to our counter all the time. They say, my transmission on my car is going out. What's going on with it? Well, it takes off slow, or it shifts, searches for gears on the highway and all that stuff, but it's never really been diagnosed. So I don't want you to jump right to that conclusion that you need a transmission. Okay, so it does need to be diagnosed, because already in your mind you're spending $3,000. All right, and that may not be the case. I've seen cars where they're starting off in second gear. So when you give it gas, it revs way up before it moves, and that's all that the problem is. I've also seen cars that come in that are not running right, and when you give it gas, it feels like there's a transmission problem. So I'll talk to 10 customers and will tell me my car's slipping into every single one of them. It means something different. So, you haven't experienced it, your son, your wife, all that things, but we need to go diagnose it. So I would go there first. And one thing that does happen commonly with engine replacements is that when the engine is replaced, when they line up the engine and the torque converter with the transmission and the dowel pins and everything like that, sometimes they stack the pump. And they can cause pump damage and cause an issue there. So I've seen that happen. That's not uncommon, that when someone gets an engine, it's not too long after they get in the transmission. So that's one of those little fine details that matters.
The devil's in the details. I'll tell you what, a good repair gone bad, I don't know, I messed this one all up, but, just you can have all the greatest intentions and nobody's cutting any corners, but this is not an easy job. Just because Grandpappy did it out in the garage when we were little, it's not. This is hard work to do it right.
Was his name Grandpappy?
Grandpappy.
Okay. Anyway, when we come back, we got Jason, Jeff, and Chuck in open lines at 602-277-5827. You're listening to Matt and Dave, your KTAR Car Guys, on Bumper to Bumper Radio.
Ouch! Being out of tune is no fun, and maybe even a little painful. Hi, this is Lee Weatherby, owner of Accurate Automotive in Mesa. At Accurate, we are a family-owned and operated one-stop automotive repair shop that specializes in building long-term relationships that are in tune with your needs, not ours. We've been recognized nationally as one of the top shops in the country, but for over 20 years, our priority has stayed focused on providing quality automotive service and repair at a fair price. I invite you to come in and see the difference an in-tune relationship can make for you and your car. With our free courtesy inspection, a $49 value, we feel it is well worth our investment in you because we believe good long-term relationships start early with your first walk through our doors. Accurate Automotive, home of friends serving friends, just off Broadway and Robson in Mesa since 1992. For more information, check us out online at AccurateAutomotiveAZ.com today.
The best summer golf pass in the Valley is on sale. Get 6 rounds of golf at either the Arizona Biltmore Golf Club or the Wigwam for just $144. 5 courses, 6 rounds, and 1 low price. Plus, the summer pass is loaded with cool perks, like discounts on room nights and spa experiences at the Wigwam Resort, 2-for-1 drink coupons, greens fees, discounts for friends, even golf discounts this fall. The pass is good May 15th through September 15th, so don't delay. Get your 2017 summer pass at Arizona Biltmore or Wigwam Golf Shops today. Trust. It's hard to earn and sometimes even harder to find. If you live or work in downtown Phoenix, Matt Allen's Virginia Auto Service is celebrating over 20 years of award-winning service at the corner of 7th Street and Virginia. Recognized as one of the best service shops in the country, their customers have come to trust Virginia Auto Service for its A+ rating by the BBB, 2-year 24,000-mile warranties, and free transportation to and from your home or office. 20+ years of earning your trust. Virginia Auto Service. They're serious about service.
Arizona's news station. KTAR. On air, 92.3 FM. Online at KTAR.com. And streaming live on the KTAR News app. Your breaking news and traffic. Now.
KTAR News Time is 11:30. I'm Julie Levin. The Coast Guard is urging residents along the Texas Gulf Coast to remain vigilant. Coast Guard Captain Tony Hahn, Sector Corpus Christi.
We had a fishing vessel with 3 persons on board that we hoisted. We had 4 people on a barge that we hoisted. We had 4 people on a tug that we hoisted. And then we had 7 people on a tug and barge that we hoisted. This was done with 2 Air Station Corpus Christi MH-65 helicopters. The crews worked in tandem.
Harvey has now been downgraded to a tropical storm, but San Antonio is another area where thousands are seeking refuge. Ron Nierenberg is San Antonio's mayor.
When there's a need, we will fill it. That's what our city is built on, and will continue to be that way. So no one will be turned away in San Antonio. We're here to help.
He warned although Harvey has weakened there, conditions are still hazardous. Let's get a check now on traffic and weather. From the KTAR Traffic Center, here's Mike Daniels.
Well, thank you, Julie. We have a crash on the 17 south of Table Mesa Road. Expect some delays in that area. Wreck at Baseline just east of 32nd, and a crash involving a motorcycle at 59th Avenue north of Thomas Road. This report brought to you by Lowe's. Shop Lowe's Labor Day saving early and save $30 on a Charbroil Performance 4-burner gas grill. Now just $169. Offer valid through August 30th while supplies last. U.S. only. I'm Mike Daniels, KTAR News.
KTAR weather for the Valley today. Warm outside. The high is 109. Plenty of sunshine all day, and then mainly clear skies, 87 tonight. And then tomorrow, look for a high of 109. Monday, we will see some clouds in the sky, 109, and then 85 later that day. Weather brought to you by Howard Air. Whether replace or repair, call Howard Air. Right now in Goodyear, 103 degrees. I'm Julie Levin on Arizona's news station, KTAR News.
The response to the KTAR News Escape the Heat San Diego Getaway contest was so huge, we're setting up another Escape the Heat getaway. Text the word ESCAPE to 411-923 now and get entered to win this flyaway to Napa Valley, including airfare to San Fran, some cash to rent a car, 3-night hotel stay, and Napa Valley wine train experience for 2. Mac and Gatos will pick a winner on Friday, September 1st. So enter to win right now by texting ESCAPE to 411-923. Escape the Heat is presented by 19 Crimes Wine.
Hi, I'm Dave Riccio, owner of Tri-City Transmission. Well, you may have come to know us for being a transmission expert. What you may not know is that our customers regularly ask us why we don't perform repairs to the rest of the vehicle. You guys are so great. Why work on just the transmission? Well, the requests became hard to ignore, and 3 years ago, we began to build an infrastructure to perform general automotive repair. We weren't going to do general repair if we couldn't be great at it. So in 2013, we began the soft opening of Tri-City Auto Repair on Smith Road. We brought on ASE Master Technicians to work side by side with our Master Transmission Technicians. The combination of the best in both of these trades has created a synergy that allows us not only to fix your transmission, but to service and repair your whole car, and to do it well. Let's face it, the modern car has become so integrated. We believe all of our expert knowledge puts us ahead of the curve. Find us at TricityTransmission.com or TempeAutoRepairShop.com. That's TempeAutoRepairShop.com.
Hi, Lisa Henry with Russ Lyon Sotheby's International Realty. Have you been thinking maybe the time is right to move, but you're not sure if you have enough equity in your home or if it really is a good time? Well, home values have increased significantly over the past few years, and interest rates are still historically low. For how long? No one knows. But for every 1% increase in the interest rate, the result is about a 10% loss in purchasing power. So it might be a really great time to sell your home and either upsize or downsize to a new home while the interest rates are still low. Contact me via my website at lisareneehenry.com or direct at 480-330-9530 for a no-obligation market valuation on your home and to hear about our global online marketing plan designed to sell your home quickly for top dollar. Again, that's lisareneehenry.com, 480-330-9530. Come experience the difference a truly customer-focused real estate agent can make.
Who can you trust here in the Valley to repair your ride? This is Bumper to Bumper Radio. KTAR News on 92.3 FM.
Well, you're back with Bumper to Bumper Radio. I am Dave Riccio here along with Matt Allen, and my microphone works now. We had to repair it. The wire was literally broken.
You go there and jack one from the other studio.
I know, it's quick thinking. So anyhow, We are taking phone calls. We got Jason, Jeff, Chuck, and William, and a couple open lines at 602-277-5827, and we'll help you with whatever you need in relation to your car. And real quickly, what is Bumper to Bumper Radio? Bumper to Bumper Radio is a show about you, your car. We want to keep you in the know about your car. Secondarily, there's a website called bumpertobumperradio.com. There's a list of shops that Matt and I would gladly refer you to. It's just a carte blanche. Here you go. These guys will take care of you. These are shops where the owner's on location. He's involved in the business, and you can talk to him. You can have a conversation with him, and you can get this relationship started where you can ask questions and take the stress. When you have a relationship, it takes the stress out of auto repair. When you don't, I mean, it's just a crapshoot when you're picking a different auto repair shop every other week. You don't go to a different pediatrician for your kid every other visit. You go to the same pediatrician, and he grows with your kid. He grows older, your kid grows taller. Maybe he's growing shorter. So anyhow,
I think mechanics just get fatter.
Yes, we do. So anyway, Matt is a religious guy at the gym, and you look stronger, but he just loves to eat.
There's Dunkin' Donuts out here.
I know.
Every Saturday.
He can't pass him up. He always cuts one in half like he's going to feel better about it, but on the way out he grabs the other half. So I'm like, why don't you just take the whole donut in the first place?
Carrie ate the other half today. So he was going, damn Matt.
Anyway, let's go out to Arizona City. We've got Jason. How can we help you, Jason? You're on Bumper to Bumper Radio.
Hey, fellas. Thanks for taking the call. I really love the information that you throw out. I have a 2002 Kia Optima with a V6 in it and coming up on 235,000 miles, and just wondering about the catalytic converter. I know over time they lose their airflow and such, and when's a good time to start thinking about changing that out? I know it's not cheap, but, if it keeps the car running, that's the way to go. And my goal is to keep mine at least 300,000 miles.
Yeah. Have you ever, this is case in point. You can make a car last for you if you take care of it. Have you ever had to do anything major crisis situation or major repair to that car?
Just normal wear and tear, like, universal joints in the front. I've changed out bushings and those type of things, a fuel pump, just those general things. I'm very attentive to the maintenance schedule. I always change out, the timing belt when it says to, and just really pay attention to it.
Well, I think that's case in point for the show that we're having, is that you can take care of your car. Now, as far as the catalytic converter goes, that's one of those things. A catalytic converter, technically, they should never really go bad,
right?
Unless something causes them to go bad. And that car will tell you when that catalytic converter's bad. On occasion, you get a check engine light, usually for one that's lacking efficiency. Now, I've seen where a catalytic converter will block up and clog, and there may not necessarily be a light for that, but you're going to notice a big fall off in engine performance if that were to happen.
Yeah, and the catalytic converter is not a preventative maintenance item. You're not going to proactively replace a catalytic converter. You're only going to replace it when it fails. The things that you can do to keep them from failing: do your tune-ups on time, replace the spark plugs. An ignition misfire, it was what causes the check engine light to flash. And that's also the only time you really need to stop driving the car, when the check engine light is on, because that misfire, something kills the cat. Curiosity kills the cat, but also so does lack of maintenance and tune-ups and fuel injection cleaning. Those are the things that cause the catalytic converters to go bad over time.
And we didn't ask him, and I don't know if he added it all up together, but he mentioned some repairs that he did, but they probably sounded like, other than oil changes, but in repairs of a fuel pump and CV joints and that kind of stuff, he's probably got a couple $1,000 into that thing. But that's sales tax on a new car. So when you're considering how long do I want to keep a car, can I make a car last, he's planning on getting 300,000 miles on it, and the way it sounds, he will get it.
Keep on trucking.
Keep on going.
In that case, keep on keying in or whatever.
Yeah, for sure. Don't try and be funny. It's not good.
Yeah, right?
So anyhow,
You're
Jason,
laughing.
Thanks for the call. So I'm laughing at you, not with you. 602-277-5827. Let's go out to Jeff in Gilbert. He's got a 2000 Ford F-150 with a transmission problem. How can we help you, Jeff? You're on Bumper to Bumper Radio.
Hi, thanks for taking my call.
You bet.
Yeah, like I said, I got a 2000 F-150, 5.4 four-wheel drive, and intermittently when I take off from the stoplight, it's in second gear. It's not in first. And I've been really anal on the maintenance. So
how many miles is on that F-150?
180.
180,000 miles. Original transmission?
Yes.
Okay, two-wheel drive or four-wheel drive?
Four-wheel drive.
How do you know it's in second gear?
Because it's taking off slowly, without. And if I stomp it down, it'll kick down and take off.
Okay. And how often? I mean, is it in the course of a week? You drive that thing to and from work every day.
Every day I drive it. They'll probably do it 2-3 times a week.
Okay. That makes them, it's nice if we're checking things out, the more frequent they're happening, to be able to really duplicate it. One of the things that I do when I got a vehicle that I think is starting in the wrong gear, and sometimes they're not necessarily starting in the wrong gear, it may give you that perception, is manually shift it. I don't know if you've tried that at all. Just shift it down into first gear versus tromping down on the gas.
I put him on hold, Dave. You want to bring him back?
No, that's okay. So that's what I would be trying. And that's the big issue with transmission problems. There's transmission control problems, and then there's transmission problems.
Let's go over that one more time for Jeff, though, since I put him on hold and you were going to tell him. So when you say manually shift it down, he thinks it's starting off in second gear, and he stomps on the gas, and then it drops and goes. So what is it that you want him to do?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Throw it in first gear without stomping on the gas and see if it takes off quicker to make sure we are having a second gear starting issue, because I want to confirm that, and if that's the case.
And then manually shift to second and then to third and just see if each of the gears works.
And go ahead and turn the overdrive off ahead of time. So you turn the overdrive off, so you start in first, click it up to second, click it up to third, and then click it into fourth by turning that overdrive back on. So that's how I make sure that I have all my gears. Okay. And I do that all the time. It's one of the regular things I do when I'm diagnosing a car. And that could be a problem I was getting to. There's transmission control problems and there's transmission problems. If I got a TPS, it's not quite working. That's a throttle position sensor. That's how the transmission knows how to shift and when to shift. And then I've got speed sensors too. So between those two things, it's going to tell it what the gear to be in. And if I'm having a problem with either of those things, sometimes you can have a valve in the valve body that's hanging up. That's kind of a common issue with that.
Right. And, Jeff, you're in Gilbert. If you go to bumpertobumperradio.com, the only transmission shop you're going to find there is Tri-City Transmission. And close to you over there by Tempe, Mesa, Phoenix, hence the name Tri-City, they will be able to take care of that for you. Something you're probably going to need to drop the car for a day or two, and get it taken care of. So if you don't have somebody for your transmission, give Tri-City a call, and they'll help you.
And I would say that one, just as I'm thinking here, that one's almost kind of a common pattern failure where there's a valve that wears out in the valve body. And we're able to fix those without having to do the major thing that everybody doesn't want to do.
Right.
So anyway, let's go with Chuck in Phoenix. He's got a 2000 Chevy with an air conditioning question. How can we help you, Chuck? You're on Bumper to Bumper Radio.
Good morning, guys. Thanks for taking my call.
You bet.
Hey, I've got a 2000. It's a 3/4 ton 4-wheel drive Suburban, and it's got 200,000 on it. Actually, over 200,000. The truck's been an awesome truck. It's very rarely ever given us any problem. But lately, we've noticed that the AC, it's not dual zone air conditioning, but it has a front air conditioner and a rear air conditioner. And the rear AC is blowing cold, but the front is not. Now, I did replace the blend door actuator to make sure it wasn't that, and it still blows warm in the front.
Have you had it checked to make sure it has a full charge?
No, I didn't have it checked. I went and got a can of Freon, and I put the can on there. It had a gauge, and the gauge said it was full, so I didn't put any more in.
Okay.
I shot a couple squirts in there, but no change really. It's still it's like it blows. I won't say hot, but it's not blowing cold. Right. Almost like the blend door is stuck.
You know what's funny? We need to find out if it's got a full charge, but I think it's funny, and I'm not picking on you too much, Chuck. It said it was full, but this is a guy thing. It said it was full, but I just get a little bit in there anyway. Don't feel bad. I would totally do that.
A little's good. A little more must be better. But
right. But, I mean, on the cars with the dual zone AC, which is not what he's talking about, you can have one side cool and the other side warm because it's low on charge. I always say the first place you need to start when you're working on an air conditioning system is make sure it's got a full, proper charge. Over full is as bad many times as an undercharge. Start there, and then if you're confident that it's got the right charge level and the rear is blowing cold, it's still the same system. I guess I would be looking at the blend door actuators. You could maybe, it's not real easy to clamp off the heater hoses and get the hot water out of the car, see if that changes it. You have to have the right tools to check the orifice tube and check some other things that make the air colder in the front. But start with the charge.
Yeah, start with the charge. And in our shop, I mean, these dashboards anymore in these cars, I mean, there's several electric motors that run airflow, the mixture of hot and cold, all those things, and they got out of whack. And we think they're working right. But, a lot of times with our scanner, we're able to move them, that type of thing. So anyhow, we come back. We got more open lines at 602-277-5827. You listen to Matt and Dave, your KTAR car guys, on Bumper to Bumper Radio.
It sounds like they've just had the accurate automotive experience. We're family-owned and operated and have served the Mesa, Tempe, Gilbert communities for over 22 years. We focus on building long-lasting relationships and, listening to you so that we can understand, meet, and exceed your expectations. One location, 14 bays, 88 years of automotive expertise, and a passionate commitment to customer service and excellence. My name is Lee Weatherby, and I approve this message because it's true. We love what we do, and we want to do it for you. Accurate Automotive, the home of friends serving friends.
Matt and I share car repair tips weekly to help you keep your car safely on the road, and a few of them are easy to do.
Yep, you're right, Dave. And one of the easiest is to have a dependable battery that you can trust to get you started no matter what the conditions.
Interstate batteries are what we trust at Bumper to Bumper Radio. In fact, they're what we use at our own shops for our customers.
If you're like most people, your car is one of your most valuable investments. Make sure you take care of that investment with the power necessary to get you where you need to be. Interstate batteries are America's #1 replacement brand with the factory fresh guarantee, and they're easy to find at good shops everywhere.
Cars or trucks, Interstate has you covered with long life and performance in our harsh desert climates with products like Megatron Plus. It carries a 30-month free replacement and a 6-year performance guarantee.
Interstate batteries. No battery lasts longer. Check them out at interstatebatteries.com.
Trust. It's hard to earn and sometimes even harder to find. If you live or work in downtown Phoenix, Matt Allen's Virginia Auto Service is celebrating over 20 years of award-winning service at the corner of 7th Street and Virginia. Recognized as one of the best service shops in the country, their customers have come to trust Virginia Auto Service for its A+ rating by the BBB, 2-year 24,000-mile warranties, and free transportation to and from your home or office. 20+ years of earning your trust. Virginia Auto Service. They're serious about service.
Well, welcome back to Bumper Radio. I am Dave Riccio here along with Matt Allen, and today we're talking about maintenance on your car and taking phone calls, of course. And we've got William and Mike, and maybe time for another one at 602-277-5827. And maintenance on your car, when do you not, when do you say, you know what, I just don't want to spend that money on the car because I'm gonna put that thing in the grave tomorrow. And Matt, have you ever recommended that to a customer?
Sometimes.
Now
I got my mic off. I think you were just waiting for me to do that one.
Yeah, I was waiting because that's a rookie mistake.
You asked me if you asked me that question only because you saw the red light was none. There's been a couple times. I mean, you said church is out, done, time, quit, stop.
Mm-hmm.
It's not worth it. I've had some cars that we've checked out and we've made some list of recommendations, and maybe we didn't do a great job of really explaining what their urgency was or was not.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's important to have the conversation, and then the customer shows up and they say, I got a new car, the other one needed all that work. I'm like, oh, no. Really? That was no excuse. They didn't need to get rid of the car. We didn't have to do all that work today. But there is a time in it. It's a case-by-case basis. There's so much that goes into it, and that's why I said earlier, Dave, we're financial counselors in this business. We kind of have to be a shoulder to cry on sometimes because people are broken down and they missed work or something happened. They missed a class. Their kid didn't make it to There's all these range of emotions. No one's ever happy with a repair.
No.
And, I mean, we're the psychologist, the counselor, the auto repair guy, the taxi. We do all these things. But all of that information that we get from you and that you share with us, that goes into us helping give you advice and information. If you've got a lot of good information, you can usually make good choices.
I had an older lady come to my shop, and her transmission was out. It was a Lincoln Continental, and it was old. I mean, this car was wore out. And she said, well, what do you think I should do? I said, well, if you were my mother and I knew you had plenty of money to go get another car, I would say go get another car. You don't need to be driving this car. You know, this is a car that is at the age where it's going to be putting you on the side of the road more often than you need to be dealing with. And she goes, but I love the car. I said, yeah, but I think it's time to put it out to pasture. And so she goes, I'm scared to buy a new car. I said, okay. So I started, what kind of car do you want? She said, I want a Cadillac. I said, okay, I'll find you a guy. So I called around until I found a Cadillac salesman I liked. Right. I got her an appointment. I took her down there, and we shopped for cars. And we did end up getting a Cadillac for her. And we went through the process, and she says, I want to fix the car anyway and give it to my grandson. And I'm like, oh, he's not going to be happy with that.
Right. But you know what, Dave, where I thought you might have gone with that, and we've done this too. You know, we made that same recommendation to an older gal. We have, I don't know why, but in my neighborhood we have a lot of widowers and widows, and we treat them like they're our mom. We really do. I mean, it's our obligation. I think it's just I've never even thought twice about not doing it. But
right.
This woman, Mary Ellen, she had a big old green Lincoln or something. And it needed some repairs. She could do what she wanted to do. She wasn't going to run out of money in her lifetime. There's no worries about that. But the problem with her is all these new cars had all the bells and whistles. She wasn't prepared for the technology. Oh, yeah. She went and drove one and her son with her, and I don't want to do it. You know, she was at that point where she probably may not be driving, but for a few more years anyway. And that was a whole new learning curve.
Right. I totally get that too.
So it made sense. That's one of those cases where, yeah, the car wasn't worth the $4 or $5 grand that we were going to put into it, but it was a good car for her.
And you get to a point in life where you don't want to learn anything new, you know? Right. So anyway, well, Mike in Phoenix has got a 2016 Nissan Rogue, and he's been patiently waiting. How can we help you, Mike? You're on Bumper to Bumper Radio.
Yeah, I purchased a car recently, actually just a few weeks ago. I only drove it for 3 days, and then I noticed that it has a fluttering hood on the driver's side. It sort of looks like it has wings once I get up to 65. It looks like a hummingbird just flapping. And but they told me they've tried to adjust it 3 times, and they finally escalated. They told me it may be a characteristic of the car, and I may need to live with it, although it's under bumper-to-bumper warranty. And originally they told me it wouldn't be a problem. They'd take care of it.
Dave and I are arguing over who gets to ask you a question first. This is a used car that you just purchased?
Yeah, it was a 2016. It only had 23 miles on it, but they told me it had a bumper-to-bumper 36,000 miles. I bought it at one of the major dealerships here in town. So,
okay, so something's. Dave, go ahead, and then we'll talk about characteristics of cars.
You know,
did I mess you up?
No, when a car's brand new and they say that's just the way it is. You know, the nice thing about a brand new model year car, you know, and there's still 2016 Nissan Rogues on the lot. There's 10 of them you can go drive, and if it happens in the other 10 of them, then yeah, I guess I could accept that. But if I go drive the other 10 of them and they don't have fluttery hoods, I'm going to say, make it right, fix my fluttery hood. And you should.
I asked them to do that, and they actually said, well, we'll send one of our service guys with you on a drive, and he'll be able to tell right away. And he actually said he sees it, and he says it's not normal. Yet what they're doing is the manager there, I guess he said he escalated it, and he took pictures and he sent it over. And the feedback he's getting, I guess the allowances that he's getting is, hey, try to make the adjustment. I did also notice that there's a gap on the driver's side where the hood meets the car. It's larger than the gap, and it's sort of an unusually large gap where I can actually stick my pinky finger into it and get under the hood. But I think they're just going to try to stick me with, and this is the problem I'm having, is how to pursue this with, hey, you know, there's nothing we can do about it. It's just normal. And although their service tech had already said it's not normal, so.
Yeah, but real quick, did they sell it to you as a new car or a used car?
I'm not sure of the category. I mean, that's a good question. I think they might have sold it as a used car, but.
Okay, the reason I asked, there's a couple things that you said, and then we'll see what we come up with. 2016 with 23 miles. That car was on that lot. They had possession of it for a long time. I'd really be curious what the production date is. I think these cars make it to the lot within about 45 days of the production date. So that production date would tell you, if you had add 2 months to that, to the production date, and then you have an idea of how long whatever Nissan dealership had that car on the lot. I suspect maybe, that's why I asked you if it sold as a new car or a used car. They sold it to a used, possibly because it was damaged on the lot. Or got damaged on a test drive or something like that happened. So I would ask about that, try and find out what you were dealing with. Do I have a new car or do I have a used car? Don't tell me I have a new car warranty. Did you sell me this as a new car or used car? You might find that in your book. And then, Dave, you're thinking maybe a Better Business Bureau, maybe an inspection at an independent body shop.
Yeah, go to Bumper Radio. We got body shops on there that are great. Go see Kevin at I-17 Collision. Go see Dave at First Class Auto Body. I mean, that's something, go get their opinion, and if they go, no, you know what, this thing's been munched before, okay? Well, that changes the whole conversation of, of the whole deal. But let's say it hasn't been. I mean, the Better Business Bureau is out there to help consumers and businesses get along. They're not out there to make anybody in trouble or not take care of anybody. But utilize the Better Business Bureau. I mean, if you've had conversations and you're not getting anywhere and you spend a chunk of change on this thing, so you want it to be right. I get nervous when my hood flutters when I drive down the road. I've been working in an auto shop my whole life. So did they guys close the hood the whole way?
Have you ever had one come up on you, Dave? I haven't.
I did at the Jeep Tours because, they had the latches on them. And so every one of our Jeeps had a little line across the hood because one of the guides at some point left the hood unlatched and popped up. So, yeah, no, I've won that T-shirt a couple times. In the auto repair world, as I walk through my parking lot, I check hoods all day long.
Yeah, right. But, Mike, get your documents in a row. Go sit down this afternoon with some quiet time and read your documents. See if you bought a new car. See if you bought a used car. Get everything in order and be prepared to, have your little battle, if you will.
For sure. Hey, Bryce, thanks for filling in for Bree today. Bree, if you're listening, which you're probably not, I don't blame you. But I hope you're feeling better. We miss you and hope to see you next Saturday. If you're looking for a friendly, honest, competent shop, you can find them at bumpertobumperradio.com. Remember not to text and drive. We'll see you next week.